All right, now let's talk our game of the week. We alluded to it earlier. Half of our players we talked about today come from this game. It is the Red River rivalry. Number 12, Oklahoma versus number 3, Texas at the Cotton Bowl at noon on Saturday. This is only the third time that OU and Texas have met while both being at least 5-0. The other two times being 2008 and 2002. Last year, Texas blew out Oklahoma. We don't talk about that around here, but Oklahoma signed 7 top 100. Excuse me. They signed 7 top 300 recruits and have allowed only 54 points this season, which is the fewest by a Big 12 team in the first 5 games since 2009 when OU also did it. This is the first time Texas is 5-0 since 2009 when they won the Big 12 championship. Last weekend, Oklahoma lit up Iowa State with 523 total yards of offense. Texas lit up Kansas with 661 yards of offense. This could be an offensive shootout. Mm-hmm. Could be a defensive struggle. A lot of it's going to come down to the quarterbacks because both of these quarterbacks can run a bit hot and cold. Dibes mentioned it earlier with Quinn Ewers. He has 2 games this season under a 65 QBR. He's got one 81, and then he's got 2 that are over 90. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback for OU, has 2 games in the high 60s and 3 in the high 90s. Like, it's all over the place with these guys. It's going to be which quarterback shows up, which defense is able to get in a quarterback's head early. Dibes, how do you feel about this game? What do you kind of see?
Yeah, Quinn Ewers already had kind of a moment in week 2. I think they had that huge win against Alabama and Tuscaloosa, right? But there's tons of prospects in this one. You mentioned it, Quinn Ewers, Worthy, Mitchell Adonai Mitchell is a great wide receiver prospect. JT Sanders already touched on. Barron Sorrell is a really good linebacker edge rusher for Texas as well. For Oklahoma, we have linebacker Danny Stutzman, who we covered last week. Offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. Both of those are big-time prospects. And I'm going to just play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say a guy, it is probably all on the quarterbacks, but a guy that had major shoes to fill in replacing Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson in 2023 is Jonathan Brooks, Texas running back Jonathan Brooks, man. The guy played just 5 games last year, averaged 7.5 yards per carry. He was dominant against Kansas last week, went off for 218 yards, 2 scores, over 10 yards per carry. Over the last 3 games, Brooke is averaging 162 yards per game on a ridiculous line of 8.1 yards per carry. And then you get to Oklahoma, who's 28th best in the country in defending the run, giving up 105 yards per game on the ground. Quinn Ewers, this is his moment to shine. But between the numbers, between the sticks, man, that matchup between Danny Stutzman trying to slow down Jonathan Brooks could be a really good one. So that's what I'm watching.
Yeah, he was almost my player of the week prediction, but I couldn't bring myself to pick a Texas player for player of the week. So, all right, Mark, what about you? What do you have going on? What are your thoughts on this game? Is there anything you like about the spread? Where are you at with this one?
Yeah, this is a Texas play for me. I'm sorry, Shane. Horns up. But I'm taking Texas -6. I don't think I've seen enough over the last year to convince me that Venables has closed the gap that we saw last year in a 49-0 beatdown in the Red River Shootout. I think Oklahoma hopes to be where Sark has Texas in a couple years, because this is year 4 or 5 for Sark at Texas. He's gotten his guys there. This is his recruiting class now. Like, this is his vision for the program. Venables is still molding what that is and still taking over for Lincoln Riley. Still has a lot of Riley guys around. I just don't think Oklahoma's advanced far enough yet to close the gap we saw last year. I think you look at what Oklahoma has played so far this year, and it's just been a really cupcake schedule. And I know Shane has complained about the play calling and a lot of screens, a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. And I think you get away with a lot of that with Dylan Gabriel when you're playing Tulsa and SMU and Cincinnati and Iowa State. But Texas, I think, is a little bit of a different situation. And since Texas beat Bama and put 34 on Bama, that Bama defense has been impenetrable. That Bama defense has been the best in the country since that. So I think Texas is every bit of a title contender, and I'd be shocked if Texas lost this game. So I'm taking Texas with the spread.
All right. So there you have it. Dibes, did you give a pick on this game? Which way do you lean? Do you lean Texas?
Man, I haven't watched enough Oklahoma football to really have a firm grasp on this one. Again, it's going to all depend on which Quinn Ewers we get on Saturday. That is just massive. Quinn Ewers, his knack or like kind of right up is how he handles pressure. He really struggled with that last year, beating the blitz. And if he does that well on Saturday, I don't think Oklahoma has a chance. There's just too many playmakers on that Texas offense. I'm going to go Texas here.
All right. I'm going to abstain from making a pick because I want to be able to show my face around my state. But you can read into that what you would like to. So